For more than 100 years, the Antikythera mechanism has puzzled scientists. It is a rusty bronze machine taken from a sunken Greek ship. Now, with the help of artificial intelligence, experts have finally rebuilt the missing half of this strange device. What it showed was much more than just tracking stars or keeping time. It revealed calculations so advanced that it makes us rethink what we knew about the ancient world. Could the Greeks really have had knowledge that was as smart as, or even smarter than, ours? Join us in this video as we discuss the details. Careful studies over the years have shown that this ancient Antikythera device was not for telling time or for navigation, but was actually an advanced astronomical calculator. It was made to predict eclipses, track the cycles of the moon, follow the movements of the planets, and even keep calendars aligned with the seasons. Even though the machine was built more than 2,000 years ago, it was far ahead of its time. Nothing close to it would be seen again for almost 2 millennia. Sadly, the sea did not preserve the whole device. What survives today are only 82 fragments, which together make up about 1/3 of the original mechanism. These fragments include around 30 interlocking bronze gears, with the largest one measuring just over 5 inches across. Though heavily corroded, they remain the most important pieces of evidence because every theory about the Antikythera mechanism must begin with what is physically there. For many years, scholars struggled to understand how the parts fit together. In the 1970s, early X-ray images gave the first hints of the hidden complexity inside the mechanism. But it was not until 2005 that real progress was made. A joint team from Britain and Greece brought advanced technology into the museum where the fragments are kept. They used a massive CT scanner to capture the inside of the bronze in 3 dimensions and a special imaging system to highlight faint surface markings. This allowed researchers to see gears, letters, and numbers that had not been visible before. Thousands of characters in ancient Greek were revealed. These were not decorative marks but direct instructions that explained the cycles of the sun, moon, and planets. In recent years, artificial intelligence has also played a role. A model developed has been used to restore missing or broken parts of inscriptions. When used alongside human historians, it greatly improved the accuracy of reading damaged texts. This mattered because even a single letter could change the interpretation of how a cycle worked or what event the machine predicted. With clearer readings, scholars were able to narrow down the possible ways the missing front half of the mechanism may have looked and functioned. The back side of the device is better preserved and gives us the clearest picture of what the Antikythera mechanism could do. It contained spiral dials that recorded different cycles. One dial followed a 19-year period known as the Metonic cycle, which kept Greek calendars aligned with the solar year. Another tracked the Kallipic cycle of 76 years. Still another recorded eclipse predictions using the Saros cycle, showing not just when an eclipse might occur, but also whether it would be solar or lunar and whether it could be seen from Greece. These details prove that the machine was highly practical, not just a display piece. The missing front side has been harder to understand, but the inscriptions that remain give important clues. They mention the 5 known planets of ancient times: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. They also describe the exact mathematical ratios that the gear system had to follow to show the planets' paths in the sky. Modern reconstructions have shown that the front most likely contained a series of rings and pointers that displayed the positions of these planets in relation to the zodiac. When the machine was complete, the display would have been striking. At the center was the Earth, shown as a small dome. Around it moved a pointer for the moon, along with a small black and white sphere that turned daily to display the moon's phases. Other rings displayed the zodiac signs, the calendar months, and the predicted eclipses. Users could simply turn a crank and watch as the heavens unfolded on the face of the device. For its time, this was nothing short of astonishing. The Antikythera mechanism shows that ancient Greek scientists and craftsmen were capable of designing technology of incredible precision. Even after more than 2,000 years, it continues to inspire as a bridge between observation, mathematics, and mechanical skill. What if a single shipwreck, lost beneath the sea for nearly 2,000 years, held the key to proving that ancient technology was far more advanced than anyone ever imagined? Stay tuned for more. More than 100 years ago, a discovery was made in Greece that completely changed the way people think about the ancient world. It began with a shipwreck that lay hidden under the sea for almost 2,000 years and ended with the unearthing of a device many now call the world's very first computer. The story starts long ago when a large merchant ship was traveling toward Rome. This ship was carrying a huge amount of cargo, about 300 tons of treasure. It was filled with bronze, marble, pottery, and many other goods. But the heavy load made it hard to control in rough weather. Just as the ship was passing near the island of Crete, it was struck by a violent storm. The weight of the cargo became too much, and the ship sank deep into the water. For centuries it lay at the bottom of the sea, slowly being covered by mud and forgotten by the world above. That changed in the year 1900. A group of sponge divers from the small Greek island of Symi were out at sea when one of them made an unusual discovery. While diving near the island of Antikythera, a diver spotted something strange on the seabed. At first, it looked like a bronze hand sticking out of the mud. The diver swam closer and realized it was part of a statue. He quickly returned to the surface and told his captain. Soon, with the help of the Greek government, the divers began a recovery operation. What they pulled from the depths amazed everyone. The site turned out to be a sunken treasure trove of the ancient world. Bronze statues, marble figures, pots, vases, and other priceless artifacts were brought to the surface. Historians later described it as the single largest collection of ancient Greek artifacts ever found in one place. All of these items were taken to the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, where experts began to carefully study and restore them. But among the statues and treasures was a small lump of corroded bronze and stone. At first, this piece did not seem important at all. For months, it sat unnoticed in the museum, as most scholars focused on the statues and pottery. Then something shocking happened. As the strange bronze lump dried out, it began to break open. Inside, tiny gears, inscriptions, and mechanical parts were revealed. This object looked less like art and more like a machine. In 1902, archaeologist Valeos Staris became the first one to check the piece closely. He saw the gear teeth and hinted it might be some kind of old clock. But at the time, people did not believe him. After all, mechanical clocks would not appear until more than 1,000 years later. Nothing like this had ever been found from antiquity, so the idea seemed impossible. Many